Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming tonight to our poetry reading as we end this year's conference on media in 19th and 20th century literature. W.B. Yeats said that out of the quarrel with others we make rhetoric, and out of the quarrel with ourselves we make poetry. So having dabbled in one, we now turn to the other. Tonight we have an excellent collection of poets, from graduate students to undergraduate students to faculty who have agreed to read the poetry. But before we begin, I would like to thank the collective for letting us host it here. Thank you, Rusty. And if everyone can just choose, since we do have a large number of poets reading tonight, if everyone can just select about 5 to 7 minutes of poetry that they would like to read, so that way we can keep it moving. And with that, Dr. Jenkins, are you set up and ready to go? Okay, then Dr. Jenkins, I'll hand it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie, for organizing this reading. We also have people who are from the community and from around the state here today, so this really is going to be a great sampling of what's happening in Oklahoma right now. Julie's passing around paper and pencils because I want to do an interactive piece. Sometimes poetry readings get to be about ego and like performance, and I like to get the audience involved. So while she's passing that out, I'll just read a few poems. Just count out the hours of aching, dedication to the mission of distraction, the blue haze of crystal vases with wax, flowers held in, the embassies of waiting, rooms where scarves choke, the oak coat, tree in the name of theology. This one I just wrote, and some of my students are here, and they've weighed in a little bit on it. I'd like some feedback, maybe, especially with the title. So the title is "Where Are You, Walter Benjamin?" And I took all the phrases from Benjamin's work of art in the age of mechanical reproduction, kind of turned them on themselves. Where are you, Walter Benjamin? Between the branch and the image of the branch, between a mountain and a range over you, between resting on a summer afternoon and its parasitical dependence on ritual, between make it easy and the urge grows stronger, between the tradition itself and what is thoroughly alive and extremely changeable, between organic fornication and mechanical reproduction, between how the actor represents himself and what you follow with your eyes, between world history which casts its shadow and graduated and hierarchized emancipation, between the ancient craft of the beautiful and a series of optical tests, between the elk portrayed by the man and the line, between the position of a critic and certain statues of gods. Okay, now everyone has a piece of paper and something to write with. All right, this is kind of speed. We're going to do a speed because it's going to take up all my time. All right, so don't think about this, just write, okay? First thing, write a sentence about your grandmother. Now write the first word that comes into your head about your beloved. If you could get rid of any obligation, what would it be? Write a phrase about your first memory. Come on, chop, chop, don't think. First thought, best thought.
That works for papers too?
Yeah, totally. Write down the first current event that comes into your head. Write a sentence in praise of your favorite author. Okay, now here's what's going to happen. I'm going to read the head of the poem in the closing. This is like the structure of a bebop song, okay? I'll read the head and the closing, and then in between, I'll leave a few minutes for you to spontaneously read what you wrote, okay? Don't worry about talking over someone else. We want that kind of cacophony, okay? We're looking for that as well as just whatever happens. You can also just say something that has nothing to do with what you wrote. And silence is okay too. And I'm going to try to record it. So speak up. Okay? Here we go. The density of boredom. From that open window of a century, sounds filter in and fill the corners, lifting the motes in the beam.
My grandmother is a monkey. Inky boy.
Standing by a fountain slipping beneath the water.
Green Army truck. I had stitches.
I was wearing saddle shoes.
Non-existent.
Sitting under the kitchen sink.
Thank job.
Broken glasses. The flavor of chocolate thick on my tongue.
Cuban Missile Crisis.
Oil prices are down. So it goes.
Ron Stillman was my father.
Obama!
Stipend package.
I salute you with somersaults like 1,000 dancing hippopotamus.
Space.
Breathing. Wait.
My mom's mom is a gossip queen.
She's a feisty woman who knows what she wants.
She sews quilts and she taught me.
Wheelbarrows, plums, and glass jars were never better.
Milky.
A rose in worship. Shakespeare is a secular god.
Rush Limbaugh says the world will explode. She was diabetic but had a candy bar just for me.
Smile. Dead.
None.
Upon it, built in years of philosophy, margins pervade the fading glance of first light rising from the street. Thank you, everybody. Give yourselves a hand.